everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to an update video for February. This video is going to be slightly different from other videos that I have previously made because I think I'm going to be doing little daily clips of what I end up working on, and so I'm going to test it out. If I hate it, I can switch back to doing regular updates, but I just thought I would try something different. The first thing that I'm going to show though is yesterday on January 31st, I did work more on the board game Stitch Along from Taylor and Cromwell, so I'll insert what I got done on that. When you had last seen it in my previous video, I had only stitched like this part here, and so last night I worked on stitching more around this tile, which this is going to be the center tile. That's why I put this needle minder here, because this is the center, and so I want to make sure once I start getting more of these tiles that I remember which one is my center tile, because that's where the first block is going to go when they release it. So that is what I got done on this, and this fabric is from Witch's Garden Crafts on Etsy. It's a 16 count 2/1. Now we're going to go on to what I plan on doing in February. So all of my projects that I work on have an amount of stitches that I need to do on them. I added all of the stitch counts up. I divided it by 25 because I would like to try and have reached all my goals by the 26th of February, because I want to have a new start at the end of the month, and so I want to have time at the end of the month just for my new start. So I figured out that I need to do roughly 727, I think, stitches a day to get my goal finished by the 26th-ish of this month. So what my plan is I am going to use one of the wheels. I have it on my phone. I will be randomly spinning every day and picking a project. My goal for that project for the day will be to try and do 700 stitches on it. If it's a project where I do not have 700 stitches left that I need to do on it to reach my goal, and an example is Festive Frosted Pumpkin Cottage, I only plan on doing 500 stitches on that chart this month. So whenever that chart gets spun, I will spin again for a second chart that would get, 200 stitches. So that's what I plan on doing once some of these charts don't have very many stitches left to go. So I'm going to spin the wheel though and get my project for today. So we're going to spin. Let's see if I can get this to focus on my phone and not me. So spin. And it is Tonight We Ride, which is from Autumn Lane Stitchery. I put all of my projects into this bin here. This is where I keep by my stitching area. This is my stitching area here, so I sit here to stitch. My Lowry swings over right here. I normally have it swung away when I'm not using it. My floss cart is here, and then I usually just put this over there somewhere. So this is my stitching area. I like it. I also have a lamp that I will put up here. It's a magnifying lamp, so when I'm not using it, I put it down, but it's just a small magnifying lamp, and I'll put it back here to have light behind me while I stitch. It works out great. So anyways, Tonight We Ride, where is that? This is one that I had just worked on at the end of January, and my goal is to do, how many stitches on it? 1,400 stitches. So tonight I will try and get 700. That would put me, halfway to my goal if I get that done. Here is where Tonight We Ride is. I will be working more on this house here, filling in a lot of black. There is still a lot of black left in this chart because the majority of this chart is black. So that'll be pretty easy stitching because it's just one color. And this is being stitched on, this is Halloween fabric from Witch's Garden Crafts, and I love this. It's beautiful. I cannot wait. This is something I plan on having finished this year, hopefully around August, so that I will have time to finish it, frame it somehow, and have it ready for Halloween this year. So I will be back tomorrow when I will show you what I get done on this chart here, and I will also be spinning the wheel again to decide what I work on tomorrow. Also, something that I was going to mention is that I think today is Thursday, tomorrow will be Friday. My kids are going to, obviously they'll be home on the weekend because there's no school, and so I think tomorrow on Friday I will spin the wheel 3 times. So I will spin the wheel for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so that I know what I'm working on over the weekend, because I don't know if I will be able to film over the weekend, and then I will come back Monday to update what I managed to get done on my weekend projects, and then during the week I should be able to do like the daily spins though. So that's my plan for right now. I will be back tomorrow with my update. I am back and it is now Friday, February 2nd. I need a notebook actually, I just realized. So notebook and pen. So I am prepared today to do my spins to figure out what I'm going to work on this weekend. First, I will show you what I got done for stitching last night. Last night I was working on Tonight We Ride, which is by Autumn Lane Stitchery, and I ended up getting 780 stitches done somehow. I do not even know how. I mean, because it's all black, it can go pretty quick. So, hold on, there we go. I was working on the house more, just long rows of black, just back and forth, back and forth. And what I actually did is I stitched just the bottom leg, and then using Pattern Keeper, you know, I was marking off the bottom legs of the stitches. So once I had like 700 something, I can't even remember, like 730, then I went back and I did all the top legs, because then I could do it all without counting. So like I didn't have to sit in my cross stitch area. I could take it with me throughout, you know, different places. And so that made it go a little bit quicker, because I just sat down, did all like the bottom legs, and then could fill in later. And then I still had a little bit of time because I was waiting for a game to come out yesterday, so I just kept stitching, and I got an extra like 50 stitches in, because I think before I was at like 730, and then I kept stitching and got to 785. So there it is. And this is stitched on 16 count fabric called This Is Halloween from Witch's Garden Crafts, 2 over 1 full cross. And the bottom section, because it's gonna have so much black, I just know it's going to be a pain, because the bottom section gets really wide with the black. And so I'm gonna have to decide if I'm going to stitch. I usually like to stitch if there's like a lot of one color in a row. I usually like to stitch across the whole row so it doesn't end up getting like little like tension lines or anything like that. So that will be interesting. Now I will go to my spins for today. So because it's Friday and then my kids will be out of school tomorrow for Saturday and then Sunday, I will be doing 3 spins today. So I will be spinning for the entire weekend, and then my next video clip will most likely end up being on Monday when they are back in school. So 3 spins, and I think I have my wheel set to where anything could be picked. So if something is picked, it's not like going to be taken off or anything. So it could be anything. It could be doubles. We will see. Hold on, there's an ad. Okay. We are going to spin the wheel, if it will focus, and spin. And we have Autumn Harmony is the first one. I want to write that down real quick. I'll just write the initials, and then we will do another spin here to get my project for tomorrow. And we have Whip Go number 24, which is Lord of the Rings from Glitch Stitch AU. And I will show all these projects after I finish these spins. I just want to get the spins out of the way. And we have Autumn Harmony again. So Autumn Harmony will get 2 days. Lord of the Rings will get 1. So I will pull those 2 charts out from over here. Where are they? First is Lord of the Rings from Glitch Stitch AU on Etsy. And this is one that I'm stitching Extreme Cross Country by Color. Doing black first. Yay. Here it is. This is one that I started, I think, New Year's Eve 2022 going into 2023. And it's on a 22 count piece of fabric, 1 over 1 full cross. So there is that one. And where is Miss Autumn Harmony? There we go. She's here. And I think that for Autumn Harmony, I am going to start stitching her Extreme Cross Country. Just try it out for like 1 month, and then if I hate it, I can switch back. And if I do Extreme Cross Country by Color, I will be working on just 1 color this month, because the color with the most stitches is 814, and I think it has 10,000 stitches. and this month I'm only supposed to do 4,700. So I would actually be working on 814 for 2 months if I just do it extreme cross country by color. So here is where Autumn Harmony is starting at, and there's the bottom. And I think if I start on the 814, I will be starting with this area. She is really hard to show because she's kind of big. So I will be starting on this area here, where it's her hair, because there's the most amount of reds like just in her hair. There's also reds in the background though because of like the leaves and stuff, but I think this area would be the easiest place to start. So that is what I'll be doing this weekend, which stitching this weekend is going to be hard because, okay, I mentioned a game. So I was waiting for a game yesterday. There was the game Persona 3 came out back a long time ago on like the PlayStation 2 probably. And they re-released them, like all the Persona games, like Persona 3, Persona 4, they re-released them on Switch, PS5, all like the systems. But then they did a reload version, which is basically like a remaster. They made it, like redid a lot of the things and made it better and newer because the other ones were still not like an updated game. So it's similar to Persona 5 had like a base game that came out, and then they made what they called a Royal Edition, and that was like the improved game. They added an extra like place that you would explore, they added an extra character, and so they did the same thing with Persona 3, and it's called Persona 3 Reload. It is on Game Pass if you have Game Pass, which I do because I love I'm always like, it's free on Game Pass. It's not free, you pay for it, but I just love the idea of just a bunch of games that I can play. So I will be playing that this weekend, hopefully. And today I think my kids want to go to a bookstore that's nearby, so it's like within walking distance. We've never been there because it would be dangerous to go there. Like a bookstore within walking distance could be bad for me. Like, can you imagine when all the books come out and you want them right away and you can just walk to the bookstore? That would be terrible. So I think we're gonna be going to the bookstore today to see what they have. So yeah, I don't know how much stitching time there'll be, but I'm gonna have to try and fit these stitches in to try and keep up with what I want to get done. Other game stuff is there's a game called Pal World that came out, which is supposed to be similar to Pokemon, but instead of catching Pokemon, you are fighting and catching pals. And I've actually really been wanting to play that, but I haven't yet because I don't have unlimited time, but I really want to try it. I don't know if anyone has played it yet, and if you have, and if it's good, you could comment, let me know how it is. There's game stuff that is going to be going on, plus I am trying to get into some more of my knitting stuff. So I will mention too this shirt I'm wearing here, this very warm looking shirt. You're probably looking at it going, it's winter, why are you wearing that? It's been actually warm, and I don't know if it's actually really warm or because it was so cold a couple weeks ago it feels warm, but I don't know. Anyways, this is Look at My Holes by James N. Watts, I think, and I made this a couple summers ago, I think, and I like it. I like it a lot, so I wear it when I can. Anyways, I'll show the whole thing. Look at it. It's like a cute little crop, more summery shirt, but I just wear it whenever. And then I haven't made it yet, and I actually want to try and make it this year, so at the same time that this came out, Jessie May Designs came out with a tank top that was called With Friends, and so they came out together. So he came out with Look at My Holes, and then she came out with Friends, so Look at My Holes with Friends. And I really want to also knit the With Friends because I actually bought yarn for it at the same time I bought yarn for this. So I got this Knit Picks yarn, I don't remember the colorway or anything, and then I got an orange color to make the tank top that you could like wear underneath it, so it would be like a bright summery orange. So I would like to do that this year, but before I can do that I need to finish working on this sweater. I'm actually going to insert a clip because I got some progress done on this. It's all tangled up right now, but I got progress on it, so I have a clip where I try it on and we talk about it. So I'll insert that now. I am here with a update on how my sweater is going. I am knitting the Nordiska sweater from Caitlin Hunter, and the last time I had talked about it, I think I was at the point where everything was still on the needles, so the sleeves and everything, And I have since separated the sleeves from the body, so the body is still being knit, but the sleeves are on hold. And then I also did the V-neck ribbing here because someone had commented to do the ribbing first so that you can get a better idea of how it's going to fit. So I did that. And one thing I will mention is that the way you do the V-neck here, I don't love the look of, and I will get up close to show. You do a decrease on this side, a decrease on this side, but you're not doing anything in between, and so it kind of leaves like this gap, and I think I'm going to just use the ends here to like sew this shut a little bit. And I looked on the project pages on Ravelry, and it looked like other people have the same thing happening, and I don't love it because I have knit one other V-neck before, which was from Jessie May, I think, and it's the Diaphanous Raglan, I think was what it was called. And the V-neck on this one is, I like the way it looks better because in the center you're doing your decreases, but it involves the center, so the center has a knit stitch going up it, so you don't have the gapping that is happening on this one. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there's just like a gap, and no matter how hard I would like pull my stitches as I was doing this section, it was still happening because I thought maybe like I'm just leaving it too loose in between the two like the knit two togethers on the side and then the slip knit. But yeah, I don't know. My yarn just fell. But yeah, so no matter what I did, there was a gap. I don't know. So like I said, I'm going to just try and like sew that shut, and hopefully that's just solves my problem so it doesn't bother me anymore. Anyways, so I have knit, I think almost an inch, because it says to knit the body for an inch and then you're supposed to start the color work. So I think I'm almost at the starting the color work portion. It says that the color work plus the bottom ribbing is an extra 5.5 inches. So from here to 5.5 would be right about like the waistband of some high-waisted pants, because my pants are right here. So I think I'm almost at the part to start color work. And I will also say I almost had like a crisis the first time I tried this on. So I tried this on and I hated it. I was thinking I was going to have to rip it out and then do it in a different size because I wasn't loving the way it was fitting. So it's supposed to have positive ease, and the first time that I tried it on, I actually ended up getting this wet and then kind of trying to block this because I was not happy with the way it fit unblocked. And I know that like when you get it wet, it will change the way that it looks, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be happy with it even then. So I got it wet. I laid it out to dry, and I can see now, yes, it is going to be fine. There is plenty of positive ease. It's fine, but at first it was a panic moment. I was thinking like, did I do all of this? Because there are like these cable things here that I had never done before, and so it took me a while just to get this top part done because of the cables and keeping track of all that stuff. So I'm happy with it, so I will be continuing stitching on it. I'm almost at the color work though, and so the color work will probably slow me down a tiny bit. My yarn fell again. This is being knit with So Livy Dyes yarn, her yarn, and this is the color Black Forest. My color work colors are going to be orange is going to be the main color work color, and then I think I'm going to use just like a cream for the second colors. Anyways, we'll go back to cross stitch. It is now Monday, February the 5th, and I am back with my cross-stitching update. I worked on my 2 projects over the weekend. The first one that I will show is Lord of the Rings from Glitch Stitch AU, and I got 700 stitches on it done this weekend. So here it is after 700 stitches, and they might be kind of hard to see. And so first I will explain. I had been stitching it extreme cross country by color, and I was stitching the black first. I made it down to this point here with the black, and then you'll notice that my grid lines stop there. So if I wanted to continue stitching the black, I would have had to grid the fabric, and I did not want to. So I decided that I would start stitching some of the other colors. And so I stitched some brown up here, and then I also stitched in some like peachy colors in these buildings here. And so I just picked a couple colors and then worked them in where I could. I also stitched some dark gray, but yeah, I just didn't want to keep gridding. That night I wasn't feeling in the mood to grid fabric, so I picked other colors to work on. And this is a Whip Go piece, so my goal for Whip Go pieces is to stitch 1,000 stitches on them when they are called, and I got 700 stitches done, which means I still need to do another 300 stitches on this. So it will stay on the wheel until it gets those 300 stitches. And then the next piece that I worked on was Autumn Harmony, which is by Maxine Gadd. And here is what I got done on her. I ended up doing, I think, 700 stitches one day and then 800 stitches the other day. And I have been stitching her now Extreme Cross Country by color, stitching this red first, which is DMC 814. And there's still a lot of this color in this chart, so when I started at the beginning of the weekend, I think there was like 10,000 stitches of it left, and so now there is still a lot. Where is it? There's still 8,523 stitches of 814 left in this chart, so I still have a lot to go on this. And I actually almost ran out of 814, so I was stitching on it. It ran out. I knew I didn't have that much left, but I thought I had another one left by my stitching area, so I had 2 reds out, and I thought that one of these was the right one, but it's not. I have 815 and then 498. So I went through my stash, I couldn't find it, and then I remembered that there was floss that I had pulled out. I have plastic, like those plastic shoe bins with Ziploc bags of extra floss. But I remembered that last year I had went through my floss cards that are here next to me. I showed it in my last video, I think. I have floss cards next to me with all my floss, a master set. And I had went through last year and I had looked to see which colors needed more floss. And then I remembered that I had pulled floss out of the plastic bins of extra floss and I had put that floss somewhere, but I could not remember where I had put it. Anyways, I found it. So I had put the floss, it was in a different area, and it was in this little plastic bin in a bag. And so the Ziploc bags are floss that came out of like the little shoebox that I told you I keep the extra floss in. And then I had also purchased some floss from Michaels because Michaels had a sale where you could get like 30% off your entire order or something. So I had ordered extra floss. So I found 814 in this bag. And do you know what I also found in this bag? So when I was stitching this chart, I had mentioned that I almost ran out of B5200. That I ended up having to pull it from a different project because there was none on my master set. I found this, a whole brand new skein, B5200. Do you want to know what else I found? I found, where is it? This, a Ziploc bag of B5200. And some of these are in Ziploc bags because I briefly, very briefly, when I started cross-stitching, I used bobbins. I used bobbins for a few years, and then I didn't like them. I didn't like having to constantly like unwind them and rewind them and then having like the kinks in the floss when you're stitching. I didn't like bobbins. So then I saw some people used Ziploc bags to store their floss for projects. So I tried that. I wasn't a fan of that, and then eventually I ended up moving to floss cards. So that's what I do now. I have my master set here. Master set on plastic ones. A lot of my larger projects, I do have them kit up separately, kind of. So like Autumn Harmony, I have cardboard floss cards because they don't need to be like permanent because the project isn't gonna last forever. So I don't want to keep buying all the plastic ones. So I have the cardboard ones that I put my full coverages on. And then when I kit them up, I usually do not kit them up with like a full skein of floss. I will take like, I'll throw an example. I'll take like a couple strands of a thing of floss. So like this color, it only has a couple strands of the floss. And so that way I'm not putting a full skein with projects because I don't like to have a full skein tied up to one project because a lot of my projects don't get worked on that often. So it seems pointless to put a full skein with the project. But for charts that are full coverage, I like to have some floss with them because when they have confetti, I like to just have the like 3 floss cards that have all the floss for that project because then it's easier to find all the confetti colors. Anyways, so I found that, and there was also, I swear there was another bag that had B5200, and I was just like, right here. Another one, more B5200. So yeah, I thought that I had no B5200, and now I have 3. So that's great. I was happy I found this bag though because it has colors. Like I said, these are colors where I knew my master set here was running low, so I had pulled them all out and then I could not remember where I had put them, but I found them, so yay me. Those need to go onto floss cards later though, so I will put them there. Anyways, so Autumn Harmony, I'm working just on that 814. I'm probably going to need to buy another skein of 814 though, because I had the one, but I think that's the last skein of 814 that I have, so I will need to get more. Anyways, now I will get spin the wheel ready so I can pick my project that I work on today. Let's see. And another thing I will mention is that, did I actually do it yet? Hold on. Where is the settings? Okay, after I've stitched on a project, I have been, each project in here says how many stitches I have left on it. So like, I'll show an example. Templar Prophecy is the one that it's supposed to be showing right now. Hold on, let me change the brightness on my screen and see if that helps. So Templar Prophecy, it says Templar Prophecy 1000, and so for each project on the wheel, I have been putting how many stitches are left on that project, and then I've been updating it after I stitch on it. So for example, Autumn Harmony, I have updated it to now it says that it needs 3,100 stitches because that is how many I have left that I need to stitch this month on her to meet my goal. So that's a way that I'm trying to keep track of the amount of stitches that are left for each project so I don't get confused. I will now spin the wheel. Alright, now it is time we will spin this wheel and see what my project for today is. So Lord of the Rings got called again. I still have 300 stitches to do on Lord of the Rings, and so because I'm trying to do 700 stitches every day, I will spin again and pick another project that will get 400 stitches. So let's do the second spin. And we got another WIPGO piece, and that is the WIPGO number 3, which was Templar Prophecy by Long Dog Sampler. There it is. Okay, so you've already seen Lord of the Rings. I just showed that. I'm not sure if I will actually grid it so I can keep stitching the black, or if I will just keep stitching some of the other colors. So we will see how I'm feeling later, if I want to grid or not. And then here is Templar Prophecy by Long Dog Sampler. And I am stitching this on fabric that I dyed myself, and I'm using DMC 666. I feel like sometimes it doesn't show up that well on camera, but here it is. I have so far, when I started on page 1. I decided because the border was boring that I would stitch this top border first. So the border is done, almost done all the way across the top of the piece, but like I said, it's kind of boring. So that kind of, I think, put me off of wanting to stitch on it for a while. And so I have page 1 is done, page 2 is I think mostly done, and then I'm working on page 3 here. And I do have this chart in Pattern Keeper, and I do know that sometimes there are problems with Long Dog samplers when you are importing them into Pattern Keeper, because sometimes where the overlap is, sometimes it will cut off wrong and it will have issues where people will be missing a row. And so one thing that you can do when you are importing a Long Dog sampler, if you are having an issue where it's cutting off the overlap, is you can go into the advanced options when you're importing a chart, and then you can select show all steps, and then you can actually adjust the grids of the pages yourself so that way it's something to do with where on some of the pages it's not reading the overlaps, right? So you can do that yourself, adjust all the page grids yourself if you do the advanced import options step. It does take longer, but I do like to have my charts in Pattern Keeper. This one didn't go in with a problem, but I know that I think my sister has had issues with one chart, and then I had a comment from someone else that they had an issue with one of their charts. So that's an option if you're trying to get a Long Dog sampler into Pattern Keeper. So that is what I'll be working on today, is Templar and Lord of the Rings. And in terms of purchases, there is something and I would like to purchase it, but I haven't yet because I'm still deciding between 2 charts. So to start off with, I have been watching the show Good Omens. I ended up, when I went to the bookstore on Friday, I bought the book because they had it, and I was like, I like to read books to shows so I can see like the differences, because, and then usually in books you get like the like background, what characters are thinking and stuff, which is always fun. So I got the book. And so I talked before about the Etsy store, Two Legs Make One X, and I talked before about they had two different charts that I was looking at. There was a girl and a dragon, and then there was a girl and a fox. I love those charts. They're kind of similar to some charts that I already have though, like the girl with the fox. Like, it's not the same style, but the color-wise are similar kind of to Autumn Harmony. Anyways, they have some charts from Good Omens on their shop, and one of them is called The Ineffable Husband, which has Crowley and Aziraphale, and I like that chart a lot. And there's also a chart called, where is it? The Times of Day in Eden, and it has more people. So it has Gabriel, Aziraphale, Crowley, and then I can't remember the other one. But it has the four. And the thing that I like about these charts is that they are the people from Good Omens, but it is in the style of the Alphonse Mucha girls, but it's not girls. And so the thing that I like about these is that it would kind of add variety to what I am stitching, because I am not stitching very many men. I stitch a lot of ladies, but I do not have very many male cross-stitch charts. So I like these ones, and like I said, I like the fact that it's like the style of the Mucha ladies, but it's not. So those are two that I'm considering buying. I'm not sure which one I want to buy yet though. I'm leaning towards The Ineffable Husband, but I really like the Times of Day in Eden because I could break them into 4 different charts and then stitch them separately so that it's not one huge piece. It would be 4 smaller pieces to stitch. But I don't know yet. So anyways, that is all that I have for today. I will be back tomorrow with the update on what I got done on the 2 charts that I picked. It is now Tuesday, February the 6th, and I am back with my progress on these 2 projects from yesterday. And I will say that I managed to get one of my WIPGO numbers complete, so I will show that first. So WIPGO number 24 for me was Lord of the Rings from Glitch Stitch AU, and I managed to get my 1,000 stitches done on it when I worked on it yesterday. Yesterday I did another 300 stitches, and I did it in this yellow color because I did not feel like gridding the fabric, and so it's not gridded down there yet still. So that's something I need to do eventually, not today, not now, and this piece will be going away for a while, so the gridding probably won't happen for a long time, but I am happy with what I got done. So it got 1,000 stitches, and now it will be put away. I will say that yesterday when I was stitching, I was kind of like, because it was when I was stitching on this one, I was kind of like, I have not been loving the projects that I'm stitching on today. And then I realized that both of these projects are on 22 count, 1/1 full cross. And that is my least favorite fabric to stitch on. And it's because it's like, it's super floppy, and stitching over 1/1, there is a chance that the floss will go underneath the threads of the fabric if you like pull too hard, or if you go like in the wrong direction with your stitch. And so it's like kind of, it's a pain in the butt. It slows you down. I have to be much more careful of how I am stitching and how I am pulling my stitches to make sure that they don't look like absolute poop. So yeah, so if you pull too hard, then they're gonna slip under the fabric. If you don't pull hard enough, obviously they're gonna be loose and just not look nice. So yeah, so I somehow got 2 of my 22 count fabrics, and these are the only 2 pieces I have on 22 count, I think. So I don't know how it happened that they got picked at the same time, but that's what happens when you use a wheel to pick your projects. Anyways, so Templar Prophecy, I ended up getting 770 stitches in on Templar Prophecy. So here is Templar Prophecy. I was really trying to get as many of the 1,000 stitches done on it as I could yesterday, because I knew that the next time I pull it out, I'm not going to want to stitch on it for very long. And so now I have 230 stitches left to reach my WIPGO goal, and then this one will be done. So it should only need to be picked one more time on the wheel, and then I'll be done with it for the month. I was stitching mostly in this area up here, and then I moved down to this area here, which this area here, is really densely stitched. So this is the bottom half of page 3 right here. And eventually there will be like the outline of like some stars and stuff in a night, but this top area is just a lot of rows of filling in color. So like this row here that I was working on, it was like over 80 stitches long, and so I was just going back and forth because I don't want to get like tension lines in the middle of a row, so I try and do the whole row at a time. And yeah, so it was taking forever. And this is being stitched with DMC 666. I love the way that this red looks on this fabric, but I hate stitching 22 count, so there's that. And now I will pick the project that I stitch on today, so I will get the wheel ready. And we got the Festive Frosted Pumpkin Cottage from Witchy Stitcher, and that only needs 528 stitches, so I will pick another project that will get 200 stitches, 200-ish stitches, possibly more, hopefully. So let's spin again. Okay, so we got Festive, Frosted, and then Little Gamer. So let me pull those two out real quick so we can see where they are starting at. Where's Festive Frosted? There it is. So Festive Frosted Pumpkin Cottage is a cute little Halloween / Christmassy chart from Witchy Stitcher. Here is where my starting point will be. And hopefully tonight I should be able to do all 500 stitches on this chart, and then the goal will be met for this chart for this month. And then I'll most likely be stitching more of the black. So there's a lot of black left in this chart, which, you know, isn't the most fun to stitch, but it needs to be done. There's also a tree here, so I'm not sure if I'm going to work on the house or the tree. Probably the tree, though. And then I will show Little Gamer, which is... I have the Gecko Rouge kit. It's from Medusa Dollmaker, but now the charts are no longer on Gecko Rouge, but you can find this chart on the Medusa Dollmaker Etsy shop. So here is Little Gamer's starting point. Last month I did all the stitching in black, so the black is all done, which gave a nice outline of where everything is going to go. And then I think this month I am going to work on the next, a color with like the highest amount of stitches. I think it's like a dark gray that's used a lot in the keyboard and in some more of the outlines. So I think I'm going to pick that color and work on that tonight. This is being stitched on a 25 count 2/1 10 stitch. So that'll be fun to work on. I'm also excited to have something that's not 22 count because like I said, those are my least favorite to work on. So I think this is where I will end this like video clip section though, because I think when I was editing the video clips together yesterday, I was already at like 30 minutes and I don't want this to be super long. So I think I will end it here. And so my next video will be starting with me showing what I worked on for these and then continuing the wheel spinning. And I think I'm going to spin the wheel for the rest of the month and then see if I want to keep doing it or do something else. I am not sure yet. So thank you everyone for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you all in my next video, hopefully in about a weekish. Bye!